having grown up in Fairbury most of my life with a few interruptions with the military and college, I was born in Fairbury, 1946, in the old Fairbury Clinic, which at that time was above where the First National Bank is. That's where the hospital was. The clinic itself was downstairs. I think there were like 2 or 3 rooms is where doctors met their patients. From there, when I got to be old enough, I went to East School at 5 years of age. In kindergarten, Miss Isabel, we called her, whose last name was Shoebotham, was our teacher. And I spent my entire elementary years at East School, which is where now the daycare center is. It was a big 3-story building that 6th grade was up on the top floor because we were the older kids, which was, I don't know if that was a blessing or not, but we were up there. We played a lot of sports out on the playground. We even had East School and Park and West and Central had their own little teams. We played softball, we played touch football, but got a little rough once in a while, but it's supposed to be touch football. And we played, we call it kickball, but now it's soccer, I guess. And we competed schools against schools. We'd find a night where the kids could get together or wherever, and we'd compete, and it was fun. Sometimes a rivalry got a little tense, but that's okay. That's
right. I understand there used to be a roller skating rink in downtown Fairbury.
Yes, downtown Fairbury, up above what is now the Ford Garage, was a roller skating rink. Nice wooden floor. The only problem is you had to be careful about the steel posts running up in case you got blindsided and hit the post. Then it was not fun, but we'd go up there usually on the weekends. You could rent your skates. You didn't have to take your skates. And by the way, that was managed by my aunt and uncle. But we'd go up there and the kids would get together, and we'd go until they told us, it's time to go home, kids. So we'd walk downstairs, and sometimes we'd go home, but most of the time we'd find a place where we could get together. A lot of times it was at what was then Elger's Cafe, which is now law offices. And we'd sit in there and the kids would talk and order some kind of soft drink. And the lady that actually managed the place, her name was Sophie Elgert. And she would come in every once in a while and she'd play music all night long, and we'd never have to plug the jukebox. So we kind of enjoyed that. Well, that was kind of what, and then everybody would dismiss, and of course everybody had to walk. So we'd walk home. Usually this group went up 5th Street, another group went up East Street, and another group went up wherever. But we'd walk as a group until we got to a place where if I lived, I would drop out, and then the next guy, next guy, next guy.
About approximately what year was this?
It was, I think the first night the junior high kids was when we were 7th graders, which would be, I think I was 13, 14, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact time. But that was mainly what we did for entertainment, especially during the winter, because it's a little tough to play outside when it's cold. But in the summer, most of our time was spent outside doing whatever, again, usually with the neighborhood kids.
Now, you told me earlier that you graduated from Fairbury High School?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Started my freshman year at Fairbury High School. Well, actually, I started my 7th grade year at the junior high building, which is now the old 23 building. The junior high classes were downstairs, 1st floor. The high school was the second and third floor. And then they added on the 47 building, which is now where they used to have science classes, and Lad Bausch had his woodworking downstairs, and of course we used the gym for sports, and that's where the cafeteria was. And it was a mad dash when the bell would ring to get to the cafeteria. You'd run like crazy so you'd get first in line, especially on Thursdays. That was chili and cinnamon roll day. And people just loved that. I mean, it was, sometimes it got a little wild running down those stairs to get over to the other building to eat.
And lastly, you kind of alluded that you, in your sports.
Yes. Most of the kids, not all, but a lot of them were active in some kind of sport. Freshmen at our 7th and 8th grade, you had football, basketball, and track. No girls. No girls. The girls were the pep club. That's it. When I started my freshman year, then still football and a little bit of basketball. I didn't stay with football because I found out about tennis. And I really enjoyed that sport. Mr. Cummins was our tennis coach. As a matter of fact, Ed Durfee and I were state champions in the doubles. It was a lot of fun. Sometimes it got a little wicked because if the rivalry between schools, it always builds up. I don't care what sport it is. But there was a couple of schools that Fairbury didn't get along with, especially the tennis team. And the idea was who could hit who the most with the tennis ball before the point was over. So that got kind of wild. But I enjoyed that sport. I even carried that sport on into junior college. We went to Joplin, we went to York and school, where the schools were not big schools, but small. And I had the honor of playing with a kid named Cox, was his last name. Really good tennis player, but he only had one arm. He was excellent. He could make that ball do whatever he wanted, and you just stand there with your mouth open because you'd think it was there, next thing you know it was over here. So it was quite an experience. I enjoyed that a lot. And that's about all I did for sports. Track was never my thing. I did it, I think my freshman year and sophomore year I ran track, but it was not fun.
All right. I think we got what we need here. Galen, I do appreciate the interview. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.